I'm motivated and driven to do things that lead to have impact. Sometimes you are called to do things that have less impact. Those things I've learned about myself frustrate me because I typically feel most alive when I know I'm making a difference. You know, most people, when they think about finding their passion, finding your passion sounds like you had to go look for it. And in the hunt for your passion, we often think go outside ourselves. Oh, let me go look over here and see if I'll find my passion. Let me look under that table, see if I find my passion. Let me go outside, see if I find my passion. Let me go hiking and see if I find my passion. But actually, finding your passion starts with looking inward, knowing yourself. How many of you in here remember the last time you lost track of time doing something was when you were creating or building something? Super cool. Those of you who have your hands up, think about your passion being located or residing in leading or creating or innovating something. Here's the other part that's really interesting about life is we all learn that we're interested in things, but rarely do we give ourselves the license to do them. We often say, well, you know, that I have way too much fun doing that. I mean, how many of you in here have ever heard someone say that you can't make a living out of something? That you can't make a living out of singing. You can't make a living out of playing the guitar. You can't make a living out of spoken word. You can't make a living out of whatever it is you might be interested in doing. But passion typically contradicts that statement. Because you live in a world, you live in a society that time and time again we see people pay for passion. They pay for it. People want to experience passion. In fact, anybody ever read anything by Henry David Thoreau? Henry David Thoreau wrote in his book about Walden that the mass of men and women lead lives of quiet desperation. Translated, most people in the world don't live passionate lives. They live on the verge of sheer desperation, hoping that maybe they'll have a good day, hopefully that they'll experience happiness. And as a result of this idea of most people living desperate lives, they yearn to be connected to cool people like you who live passionate lives. Experience is a good teacher. And it's through experience that we develop confidence in those things that we're interested in doing that allow us to transform interest into passion. What allowed you to go further the second time? No limits. What'd you say? Something about people? No people around you. The people around you. The people around you. No limits. What other kinds of things helped you go further the second time? Encouragement, my encouragement, the enthusiasm. Any other things from this side? Experience. You had done it once, and now you knew what to do. Remember these elements because they are the critical ingredients to helping us find our passion and to turn passion into purpose. Because just like in that exercise, the people around us either push us to no limits or they constrain us. They either hear a good idea and say, go for it. You should do it. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? And then there are other people who are like, well, that's a dumb idea. Well, I've never tried that. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Well, I think that's just silly. I don't even know why you would think about that. One person who I love talking about is my maternal grandmother. My maternal grandmother, her name is Creola Evelyn Warner. She was a teacher in a public school. She died in 2014, which is 4 years ago. Not exactly 4 years ago, she died in November. But my grandmother, my mom's mom, taught me a lot. I remember before I learned my multiplication table, like 2 times 2 and 4 times 3 in school, my grandmother taught me at her house over breakfast because she was a good teacher. My grandmother was the one who taught me to write and to write my letters before my teacher. So always before teachers taught me, my grandmother taught me things. I turned to her, I said, I forgot the words. My grandmother, who was still close to me, whispered the words. The church could not hear it, but I could hear it. And then my grandmother did what good teachers do. She gave me the starting point. Sometimes teachers start us off. They show us the example. They illustrate it. They demonstrate the lab. But then it's up to us to take that experience and then transform it into success. So before you know it, she gave me the words. She gave me the starting note. She said, now, baby, close your eyes and sing for mama. And I remember being about 8 years old. I remember grabbing, it was probably this blazer that I had when I was 8 too. I remember grabbing the end of my blazer and saying, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And when I finished, the whole church jumped up, woo! And they were clapping, and my grandmother's eyes were so lit. She said, do the second verse. I said, you didn't teach me a second verse. Because that's what happens when you get encouragement and you check who you're around and you believe in yourself. Before you know it, all of that transports you to the place of possibility.